Well, hello and welcome back to my kitchen. I am making my taco spiced lentils. I have a lot of people ask me about these because I make lentils so much and they're really easy to cook. And there's a number of ways that you can season them. And I honestly, people might feel like this is a cheat. You can make your own spice blend, though these low sodium packets are usually really inexpensive. I can find them at Winco, really inexpensive. And these ones at Kroger, they were actually two for $1. And when I put this in with the lentils and the water, even the sodium that's in here, so 230 milligrams of sodium. As I said, you could make your own blend and leave it out entirely if you wanted. I know how much sodium is safe for me to ingest. And when I put this in an entire batch of the lentils, it's pretty nominal. So let me show you how I put this together. Lentils, an entire package of lentils cost me about $1.18 the last time I was at the store, and that was the packaged. I could have bought them even less in bulk. So I'm going to take a cup of the lentils, and I already have 3 cups of water in the pan. And I'm just going to start that cooking. I want to bring this to a boil. And all I do is just take this package of seasoning, plop it right in there with the water and the lentils, and mix that up. So I'm going to bring this to a little bit of a boil and then lower the heat down. This will take anywhere from like 20 to 30 minutes to cook. And what I'm looking for is all of the liquid to be boiled down, so that way the lentils are not completely squishy, though I want them soft. And the lentils will stay good in the fridge for up to 2 weeks. Not that it will take me that long to eat them. And tonight I am craving tacos. So with the tacos, and I'll also use the lentils for a rice bowl. And the other thing I wanted to put together is to use up some of the leftovers I have in the fridge for a cilantro cashew cream sauce. There's a number of people that have the recipes, and let me know in the comments if you like to take a recipe and then you tweak it and change it based on what you like, what you have on hand. That's what I tend to do all of the time. I'm pretty sure this recipe originally came from Oshi Glows or Shane and Simple, one of those. I couldn't find the exact recipe because I like to give credit where credit is due, though I've tweaked it so much over the years, and I tend to just write things down, or I will put it in a file somewhere. Since I don't have any cashews right now, what I am using instead, just to clean things out of the fridge, is I'm taking some defrosted cauliflower. So the recipe calls for a half a cup of the cashews soaked in hot water. I didn't need to do that because I had the cauliflower, and I'm using about a cup. And I did, though, you'll see up here, I've got a little bit of hemp hearts. I don't even think that was a tablespoon I had left over. I used that in a nut dressing recipe. And then I have some raw sesame seeds that, again, I used in another dressing recipe. And so I'm just going to put this, I've got a Ninja, and I'm putting this in one of the individual containers this size, so that way I can just blend everything together and keep this in the fridge. And let me know what type of dressings that you like And if you are plant-based or plant-curious, if you don't know me and you've never seen my channel before, my name is Tiffany and I'm the founder of Anderson Therapeutics. I started this channel to introduce my holistic approach to aging well because I have worked in the field of health since 1996, and over the years, I have adopted a number of meal plans, and after I became seriously ill, I was introduced to a film called Forks Over Knives, and that film led me to discovering Dr. John McDougall and his book, The Starch Solution. Changed my life. I've been plant-based since 2016. I've never looked back. Love it. I don't know anybody else in my world that eats this way. My son's very supportive, and people are often curious about my food, and that's why I share things here because, for one, I am on a very tight budget. I work multiple jobs to keep myself afloat, and I like freedom. I like to travel, and when I have different streams of income and I can live fairly frugally, and that is really easy to do when you're eating plant-based. All of the foods that I eat are really inexpensive. They're nutrient dense and they're low in calorie. And I am staying off medications that I needed in the past because food is now medicine in my world. The thing I'm going to add next, the original recipe asked for lime juice, and I like to substitute lemon, and I don't have any fresh lemons, so I'm just using the liquid, and it's about 3 tablespoons. So for me, that's going to be about 5 capfuls or so. Do you like to measure, or do you prefer to eyeball when you cook? I have been cooking for so long since even though I've been an empty nester for almost 2 decades, that I've cooked for a lot of people in my life, and now that I'm cooking just for me, I like to just taste test and check it out as I go. A serrano pepper, a little 1/2-inch piece, is something that I've used in the past, though I'm just going to use some hot sauce and just use a couple of dashes of that. So that's about what I've got in here so far. The next thing I will be adding is 3 cloves of garlic is the next thing that's called for. I have fresh, and I also like saving time and energy buying the garlic, and I found this at the dollar store. So for any of you mature adults out there who, there's lots of people that's where they're getting their meals is from the dollar store. So there's no shame, no pointing fingers, however you need to balance your budget and feed yourself. There are a lot of options out there for you. This is not about food snobbery. It's about finding what works for you and what fits your budget and what tastes good. What tastes good and feels good to nourish your body. The last thing I will be adding, I've got about this much of a bunch of cilantro left, and I'm going to be using half of this because I want to have some left over for when I make my tacos later tonight. If you can see, it's coming to a boil there in the background. This packet is awfully red in color. It looks like there's a lot more red and chili powder, red pepper and chili powder in here than other packets I've bought in the past. Just going to turn that down to low and keep an eye on this and let that fluid bubble off as everything cooks. So there you go. There's all of the items in here, and everything's so high in liquid. The lemon juice that I put in here, that might make this a little soupy. So that's where this dressing might be more in line for my rice bowls and not necessarily for the tacos. I've already got some spicy guacamole that I could put for the tacos because I'm going to use corn tortillas. line the bottom with shredded cabbage, put the lentils on, and then top it with salsa, guacamole, some diced radish, all that type of thing. So let's see how this turns out, see what the texture looks like. All right, it's gonna be noisy. Here we go. Interesting, not as, look at that, it actually stuck to the top. That surprised me because you know the cauliflower and then all of that lemon juice, there's already a lot of liquid in here. So that's really a heavy texture that surprises me. Let me give this. Can definitely taste the lemon. Not going to taste the cauliflower at all. For anyone who's wanting to get more vegetables into their diet, especially the diet of their kids or anyone that you're taking care of, cauliflower, even though it's a cruciferous vegetable, it blends well. That's why you'll see in a lot of recipes like the riced cauliflower or cauliflower for a pizza crust, all those type of things. Some people consider it really bland. I love the taste of cauliflower, but that's why it goes so well in recipes like this. I'm going to add just a little bit of water because it didn't give the creaminess that I was looking for to actually make this a dressing, a topping. So let's try this again. That's when you're doing a recipe for the very first time, just throwing stuff in as you go. And then you think, well, a little more of this, a little more of that. I think this is really interesting. I'm certainly not going to give up on it because that's what I love about making dressing and any type of any recipe actually, is because you can just taste test as you go. Now I liked it with a little bit of water because now I'm picking up on the greens and kind of the earthiness of the dressing, though it detracted from the garlic. Gonna add just a little bit of salt. And what I did make already, that I had some chickpeas and I made a batch of hummus. And this hummus, I made it with lemon and I added some cilantro in here. So I'm going to add these beans. That's another thing I could have used instead of the cauliflower, is maybe just some white beans or some chickpeas. So since I've already blended that in, I added a couple of spatulas full, and see if that gives us a little bit more of the creamy texture that I was looking for this dressing. Wow, okay, I think this did it. Look at that. It actually pulled everything down from the top. Let me shake it down. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot more of the texture that I was looking for in this dressing. Yeah, I like that. Because I didn't want it too thin. I mean, this isn't for, you could use it on a tossed salad if you wanted to. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Definitely not as spicy. So what I'm going to do now is play with it a little bit with maybe a little more of the hot sauce, because I like things spicy. and maybe some cumin. I think cumin would be good here because it's got a lot of the lemon. So a few dashes of cumin powder. With the lime, I like the lemon just because I really like tart. That's something that I really like the taste of. And play one more time, see how this goes. Give my lentils a stir. You can probably see that even though it's only been 15 minutes in the video right here, a lot of the liquid needs to boil off. So it's gonna take maybe around 10 more minutes. And then the lentils will be done. Okay, there we go. There's the texture for all of you who love green foods, and any of you who don't like green foods. You could put this on a bowl. You could put this on a quesadilla. I mean, if if you're still eating animal products, or if you have a vegan cheese that you like, there are so many things that you could use. A cauliflower cream, a cashew cream. Oh, that's good. Yeah. I mean, would I say this is my preference over having the cashew cream sauce? No, I really like the cashew cream sauce. It tends to split a little bit because of the citrus. This won't split, and that's where I'll be able to use this a little more unlike a rice bowl. I think that's where this pairing is going to be really fitting. And another thing this would be great for if you like to make like a 7-layered bean dip. I make tapas dinners all the time, especially during the hot winter months, or hot, what am I saying? I think I'm saying that because here in Utah, we haven't had any snow in the valley. It's ridiculous. It's January, we don't have snow. Hot summer months is when I have tapas dinners. Right now, it is pretty cold, though. It's going to be almost 48 degrees today. That's crazy. That's silly. I'm going to have the tacos. The 7-layer dip. I do eat those quite a bit just because they're super easy. They're filling, and who doesn't like to have chips in a dip for dinner? I do that a lot, making guacamole, salsa, all those type of things. And that is the joy of the meal plan that I'm on right now, is the starch solution, because I can make my favorites plant-based, and I'm maintaining a healthy diet. I'm managing my chronic conditions, and I've jammered too long. I'm gonna finish up cooking here. I hope this was interesting. I hope it was useful. Gave you some tips of how you can better manage your health, add more plants to your diet, regardless of anything else that you're eating. Add more vegetables, add more fruits, add more fiber, add more grains. Those are the things that are really good for digestion. They're great for antioxidant health, and they're a lot better for our planet, honestly. So there's my shameless plug. Look in the description below. Check out my website. Everything there is free to help you on your journey to improved health. Give this a like if it was useful. That helps a lot. Subscribe if you haven't already. Check out some of my other videos. I'll see you next time. Bye.